Hello beautiful souls, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so grateful you're here today because we're about to have one of the most important conversations that rarely happens in our society. I'm talking about what really happens to your intimate health after 50, and honey, nobody's talking about this the way they should be. Before we dive in, I want you to grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and know that this is your safe space. What we're discussing today might feel vulnerable, it might bring up emotions, and that's okay. You're not alone in this journey. Now, let me ask you something, and I want you to really think about this. When was the last time someone sat you down and honestly explained what your body would go through after 50? Not just the hot flashes that everyone jokes about, but the real, intimate changes that affect how you feel about yourself, your relationships, and your sense of womanhood. If you're like most women I talk to, the answer is probably never. And that silence, that gap in our education, has left millions of women feeling confused, ashamed, and completely unprepared for this phase of life. Maybe you're experiencing things right now that you don't understand. Maybe you've noticed changes in your body that make you feel disconnected from yourself. Maybe you're wondering if what you're going through is normal, or if you're broken somehow. Let me tell you right now, you are not broken. You are evolving, and there's a beautiful difference. Today, we're going to change that silence. We're going to talk openly, honestly, and lovingly about every aspect of intimate health after 50. We're going to explore the physical changes, the emotional journey, the relationship dynamics, and most importantly, we're going to talk about solutions, hope, and reclaiming your power. This isn't just about medical facts, though we'll cover those too. This is about understanding that your intimate health is connected to every part of your well-being. It's about your confidence, your relationships, your sense of self, and your right to feel good in your own skin at every age. I promise you, by the end of this video, you'll have a completely different understanding of what's happening in your body. You'll have practical tools to help you navigate these changes, and most importantly, you'll know that this isn't the end of your intimate life. It's the beginning of a new chapter that can be just as fulfilling, if not more so, than anything you've experienced before. So let's begin this journey together, with courage, compassion, and the understanding that knowledge is power. And you deserve to have all the power when it comes to your own body. Hey, before we continue, let me ask you, have you liked and subscribed to the channel yet? No? Then take advantage now and click the subscribe button below. Oh, and leave a comment with what you think of this video and which city you're watching it from. Your participation is very important to us. It helps our channel grow and bring more content like this. I'm counting on you. Now, let's continue. Let me start by sharing something personal with you. Last week, I received an email from a woman named Sarah. She's 53, and she wrote to me at 2 in the morning because she couldn't sleep. She said, "I don't recognize my own body anymore. I feel like I'm failing at being a woman." Sarah's story broke my heart because I've heard it so many times, and maybe it resonates with you too. She told me about lying in bed next to her husband of 25 years, feeling more distant from him than ever before. Not because she loved him less, but because her body felt foreign to her. She described feeling dry, uncomfortable, and completely disconnected from any sense of desire or pleasure. But here's what Sarah didn't know, and what you need to know. Her experience is not unique, it's not her fault, and it's not permanent. You see, our society has created this narrative that women have an expiration date, that after menopause, we're supposed to quietly fade into the background, grateful for the years we had, and accepting that our intimate lives are over. This narrative is not just wrong, it's harmful, and it's robbing women of years of potential, joy, connection, and pleasure. Let me paint a picture of what many of you might be experiencing right now. You wake up in the morning and your body feels different. Maybe there's stiffness where there used to be flexibility. Maybe there's dryness where there used to be natural lubrication. Maybe there's discomfort where there used to be pleasure. You might find yourself avoiding intimate moments with your partner, not because you don't love them, but because you're afraid of pain, embarrassment, or disappointment. You might catch yourself looking in the mirror and feeling like you're looking at a stranger. The curves have changed, the skin has different texture, and somehow you feel invisible in a world that seems to only celebrate youth. Or maybe you're single and you've convinced yourself that dating is no longer an option, that your time for romance, for passion, for discovering new love, or rediscovering old love has passed. You might have told yourself that it's selfish to want these things at your age, that you should be content with companionship or solitude. Perhaps you've noticed that conversations with your friends have changed too. Instead of talking about dreams and adventures, you find yourselves comparing aches and pains, discussing medications, and accepting limitations as inevitable. There's this unspoken agreement that this is just how it is now, and any desire for more is somehow inappropriate or unrealistic. I want to pause here and acknowledge something really important. If any of this resonates with you, the feelings you're having are completely valid. The grief you might feel for your younger body, the frustration with changes you didn't choose, the anger at a society that makes you feel invisible, all of these emotions are real and they matter. But here's where we need to shift the narrative. What if I told you that some of the most sexually satisfied women in studies are actually over 50? What if I told you that many women report having the best intimate relationships of their lives in their 60s, 70s, and beyond? What if the story you've been told about aging and intimacy is incomplete at best and completely wrong at worst? The truth is, your intimate health after 50 isn't just about managing decline, it's about understanding transformation. Your body isn't broken, it's changing. And with the right knowledge, support, and care, these changes can actually lead to deeper intimacy, more satisfying relationships, and a more authentic connection with yourself. I think about women like Helen, who, at 62, discovered that she was more orgasmic than she'd ever been in her 20s or 30s. Or Maria, who met the love of her life at 58, and says their physical connection is unlike anything she experienced in her previous marriage. Or Janet, who learned to pleasure herself for the first time at 55 and describes it as a spiritual awakening. These aren't exceptions. They're examples of what's possible when we stop accepting limitations and start embracing possibilities. But first, we need to understand what's really happening in your body, because knowledge is the first step toward empowerment. We need to talk about the physical changes, yes, but also the emotional and psychological shifts that come with this phase of life. You might be experiencing what researchers call desire discrepancy, where your mind wants to want sex, but your body doesn't seem to be cooperating. You might be dealing with what feels like a betrayal by your own anatomy. Parts of your body that used to respond predictably now seem to have their own agenda. And let's talk about the shame that often accompanies these changes. Shame about needing lubrication when you never did before. Shame about taking longer to become aroused. Shame about your body's appearance. Shame about having desires at all at your age. This shame is not yours to carry. It belongs to a culture that has failed to educate and support women through this transition. The isolation that many women feel during this time is real too. When was the last time you had an honest conversation with a friend about your intimate health? When was the last time you saw a movie or read a book that portrayed women over 50 as sexual beings with agency and desire? When was the last time you received medical care that addressed your intimate health with the same attention given to your cholesterol levels? This isolation makes everything harder. It makes you feel like you're the only one struggling, like you're abnormal, like you're asking for too much when you want to feel good in your own body. But you're not alone. Millions of women are going through exactly what you're going through. And more importantly, millions of women have found their way through to the other side, where they've discovered that this phase of life can be incredibly rich, satisfying, and full of possibilities they never imagined. Now that we've acknowledged the emotional reality of what many of you are experiencing, let's dive into the beautiful science of what's actually happening in your body. Understanding the why behind these changes is crucial because it transforms mystery into knowledge. And knowledge is power. First, let's talk about the hormonal symphony that's been playing in your body for decades and how it's changing its tune. For most of your adult life, estrogen and progesterone have been the conductors of your reproductive orchestra. These hormones didn't just control your menstrual cycle. They influenced your skin elasticity, your bone density, your mood, your sleep patterns, and yes, your intimate health. Estrogen, in particular, has been your intimate health's best friend. It's been responsible for maintaining the thickness and elasticity of your vaginal tissues, keeping them well lubricated and resilient. It's supported blood flow to your genital area, which is crucial for arousal and pleasure. It's helped maintain the pH balance that keeps you healthy and comfortable. Now, as you transition through perimenopause and into menopause, estrogen levels don't just drop, they fluctuate dramatically before eventually settling at much lower levels. This isn't a gentle decline, it's more like a roller coaster that eventually levels off at the bottom of the hill. This hormonal shift affects your intimate health in several specific ways, and I want you to understand each one so you can recognize what's normal and what might need attention. Vaginal atrophy is probably the most significant change, though the name itself sounds harsh and clinical. What it really means is that the tissues of your vagina and vulva become thinner, less elastic, and more fragile due to decreased estrogen. The walls of your vagina, which used to be thick and cushioned, become thinner and more delicate. This can lead to discomfort during penetration, increased susceptibility to infections, and general sensitivity. But here's what's important to understand. This process is gradual, and it's treatable. Your body isn't betraying you, it's responding to a normal hormonal change. And just like you might need reading glasses when your eyes change with age, you might need different approaches to maintain your intimate health as your hormones change. The decrease in natural lubrication is another significant change. Your body's ability to produce moisture in response to arousal becomes less efficient. This doesn't mean you're not attracted to your partner or that you don't desire intimacy. It simply means your body's response mechanisms are working differently. It's like the difference between a young plant that springs back immediately when watered and a mature plant that takes a bit longer to show its response. Both are healthy, just different. Blood flow changes are also crucial to understand. Estrogen helps maintain good circulation to your genital area, which is essential for arousal, sensation, and overall health. As estrogen decreases, blood flow may decrease too, which can affect sensitivity and response time. This is why arousal might take longer or feel different than it used to. Your pH balance also shifts with hormonal changes. The vagina maintains a delicate acidic balance that helps prevent infections and keeps you comfortable. As estrogen decreases, this balance can shift, making you more susceptible to infections and general discomfort. Now, let's address some of the common misconceptions that create unnecessary anxiety and shame around these changes. Misconception number 1. If I need lubrication, something is wrong with me. This is absolutely false. Using lubrication is not a sign of failure or inadequacy, it's a sign of wisdom and self-care. Even young women sometimes need additional lubrication, and as we age, it becomes a normal part of maintaining comfort and pleasure. Misconception number 2. These changes mean my sex life is over. This couldn't be further from the truth. While your intimate life may change, it doesn't have to end or become less satisfying. In fact, many women find that once they understand and adapt to these changes, their intimate lives become more fulfilling than ever. Misconception number 3. It's just part of getting old, and I should accept it. While these changes are a normal part of aging, accepting discomfort or dissatisfaction is not necessary. There are many effective treatments and approaches that can help you maintain comfort, pleasure, and intimate health. Misconception number 4. Hormone therapy is dangerous and should be avoided at all costs. While hormone therapy isn't right for everyone, for many women, it can be a safe and effective way to manage menopausal symptoms, including those affecting intimate health. The key is working with a knowledgeable healthcare provider to weigh the risks and benefits for your individual situation. Let's also talk about the psychological aspects of these changes. Because your mind and body are intimately connected, the stress of experiencing unexpected physical changes can create a cycle where anxiety about intimacy actually makes intimate experiences more difficult. When you're worried about pain, dryness, or your body's response, your nervous system can shift into a state of tension rather than relaxation, and relaxation is crucial for arousal and pleasure. This creates what researchers call the spectatoring effect, where instead of being present in intimate moments, you're watching and analyzing your body's responses, which ironically makes it harder for your body to respond naturally. The cultural messaging you've received throughout your life also plays a significant role. If you've internalized the idea that women over 50 aren't supposed to be sexual beings, or that your value is tied to your reproductive capacity, then these physical changes can feel like a loss of identity rather than a natural transition. Sleep disruption, which is common during menopause, also affects intimate health in ways that aren't always obvious. Poor sleep affects hormone production, mood, energy levels, and overall well-being, all of which influence your capacity for intimacy and pleasure. Weight changes that often accompany menopause can also impact how you feel about your body and your confidence in intimate situations. It's important to understand that these changes are often related to hormonal shifts and metabolic changes, not personal failure or lack of willpower. The good news is that understanding these mechanisms gives us multiple points of intervention. Just as a gardener who understands soil conditions, water needs, and seasonal changes can help plants thrive in different environments, you can learn to work with your body's new requirements to maintain and even enhance your intimate health. Your body isn't broken, it's transitioning. And with the right knowledge and tools, this transition can lead to a deeper understanding of yourself, more authentic intimacy, and potentially more satisfaction than you've ever experienced. The key is approaching these changes with curiosity rather than judgment, with compassion rather than criticism, and with the understanding that adaptation is a sign of intelligence, not defeat. Now comes the part I'm most excited to share with you: the solutions, the hope, and the practical steps you can take to reclaim your intimate health and create the fulfilling intimate life you deserve. Everything I'm about to share with you is based on research, real women's experiences, and proven approaches that have helped thousands of women transform their intimate lives after 50. Let's start with the foundation: your pelvic floor. This amazing network of muscles, ligaments, and connective tissues is like the root system of your intimate health. Just like you wouldn't expect to have strong arms without ever exercising them, your pelvic floor needs attention and care to function at its best. The beautiful thing about pelvic floor health is that it's never too late to improve it, and the benefits extend far beyond intimate health. A strong, flexible pelvic floor can improve bladder control, reduce back pain, enhanced core stability, and yes, significantly improves sexual sensation and satisfaction. Let me teach you a proper exercise, because most women are doing them incorrectly. Place one hand on your chest and one on your belly. Breathe normally, and on an exhale, gently lift your pelvic floor muscles as if you're stopping the flow of urine and lifting a blueberry with your vagina. Hold for 3 to 5 seconds, then release slowly. The key is not to hold your breath, clench your buttocks, or tighten your thighs. This should be a subtle, internal lifting. Start with 10 repetitions, 3 times a day, and gradually build up. But here's the crucial part that most people miss. You also need to learn to fully relax these muscles. Tension without relaxation creates dysfunction. So after each contraction, focus on fully releasing and allowing these muscles to soften. Beyond basic kegels, consider incorporating full body movements that support pelvic floor health. Deep squats, hip circles, and gentle stretching can all help maintain flexibility and blood flow to this area. Yoga poses like child's pose, happy baby, and gentle hip openers can be particularly beneficial. Now let's talk about lubrication. And I want to remove any shame or hesitation you might have about this topic. Using lubrication is not a sign of inadequacy, it's a sign of wisdom and self-care. There are many different types of lubricants, and finding the right one for you can make an enormous difference in your comfort and pleasure. Water-based lubricants are gentle and compatible with all types of condoms and toys, but they may need to be reapplied during longer intimate sessions. Silicone-based lubricants last longer and are great for water play, but they can't be used with silicone toys. Oil-based lubricants can be wonderful for massage and extended play, but they can't be used with latex condoms. For many women dealing with significant dryness, a vaginal moisturizer used regularly can be like. These are different from lubricants. They're designed to be used daily to maintain moisture and pH balance, not just during intimate moments. Hormone therapy, whether systemic or local, can be incredibly effective for many women. Local estrogen therapy, applied directly to the vaginal area, can help restore tissue health. IMPROVE lubrication, and reduce discomfort with minimal systemic absorption. This isn't the same as the hormone replacement therapy that's been controversial. It's a localized treatment that can have profound effects on intimate health with minimal risks for most women. If you're interested in exploring hormone therapy, find a healthcare provider who specializes in menopause and women's sexual health. Not all doctors are equally knowledgeable about these options, and you deserve care from someone who understands the importance of your intimate well-being. Let's talk about arousal and pleasure, because these deserve as much attention as managing discomfort. Your capacity for pleasure doesn't diminish with age, it may just require different approaches. Many women find that they need more time and different types of stimulation to become fully aroused after menopause. And that's perfectly normal. Extended Foreplay becomes not just enjoyable, but necessary for comfort and pleasure. This isn't a limitation, it's an opportunity to explore more sensual, mindful approaches to intimacy. Many couples find that being forced to slow down actually enhances their connection and leads to more satisfying experiences. Mindfulness practices can be particularly powerful for intimate health. When you're present in your body, focused on sensation rather than performance, your natural responses have space to emerge. Try spending time each day simply breathing and noticing your body without judgment. Practice touching yourself non-spectably, with appreciation and curiosity about how your body feels and responds. Self-exploration is crucial, and I want to normalize this completely. How can you communicate what feels good to a partner if you don't know yourself? Many women have never taken the time to truly understand their own bodies and responses. This exploration becomes even more important as your body changes, because what worked before may need to be adjusted. Consider this self-exploration as a loving investigation rather than a test. Use a mirror to look at your vulva and notice any changes. Touch yourself with curiosity and kindness. Notice what feels good, what's sensitive, what's comfortable. This isn't just about sexual pleasure, it's about maintaining connection with your own body. Communication with partners becomes absolutely essential during this phase of life. Many women suffer in silence, hoping their partners will somehow intuitively understand their changing needs. But your partner isn't a mind reader, and they may be dealing with their own age-related changes and insecurities. Have honest conversations outside the bedroom about what's changing and what you need. This might feel vulnerable, but vulnerability often leads to deeper intimacy. Your partner may be relieved to understand what's happening and eager to find ways to support your comfort and pleasure. During intimate moments, don't be afraid to give gentle guidance. I need more time. This feels good. Let's try this instead. These communications help your partner become a better lover to you specifically, rather than trying to guess what you might want. For single women, know that dating and new relationships are absolutely possible and can be incredibly fulfilling after 50. Many women report that they're more confident, more aware of their needs, and better communicators in latter life relationships. You have every right to seek companionship, romance, and physical intimacy at any age. When you're ready to be intimate with a new partner, you can prepare by taking care of your own comfort first. Use moisturizers regularly, have quality lubricant available, and don't hesitate to communicate your needs. A caring partner will appreciate your openness and want to ensure your comfort. Let's talk about some natural approaches that many women find helpful. Regular exercise improves blood flow throughout your body, including to your genital area. Cardiovascular exercise, strength training, and flexibility work all contribute to overall health and can positively impact intimate health. Certain foods may support hormonal balance and overall health. Foods rich in phytoestrogens, like flax seeds, soy products, and legumes, may provide gentle hormonal support. Staying well hydrated is crucial for overall tissue health, including intimate tissues. Some women find herbal supplements helpful, though you should always consult with a healthcare provider before starting any new supplements, especially if you're taking other medications. Red clover, black cohosh, and maca root are among the herbs. Some women report beneficial effects from stress management is crucial, because chronic stress interferes with hormone production and sexual response. Find stress reduction techniques that work for you, whether that's meditation, yoga, walking in nature, creative pursuits, or spending time with loved ones. Sleep quality affects everything, including intimate health. Poor sleep disrupts hormone production and leaves you feeling less interested in intimacy. Create a bedroom environment that supports good sleep. Establish a consistent bedtime routine and address any sleep issues with appropriate professional help. Now, let me share some success stories that illustrate what's possible when women take charge of their intimate health after 50. Margaret was 57 when she finally addressed the painful sex she'd been enduring for 3 years. She'd convinced herself it was just part of getting older and that she should be grateful her husband still wanted to be intimate. Working with a menopause specialist, she started using local estrogen therapy and began communicating more openly with her husband about her needs. 6 months later, she described their intimate life as better than it had been in her 30s. Linda was 54 and had been divorced for 2 years. When she decided she wanted to start dating again, she was terrified about being intimate with someone new, worried about her changed body and her need for more time and lubrication. She spent several months reconnecting with her own body, learned about the products and techniques that made her comfortable. And when she did meet someone special, she was able to communicate her needs confidently. She's now in a deeply satisfying relationship and says the intimacy is more authentic and fulfilling than anything she experienced in her 20s or 30s. Carol was 62 when she realized she'd never had an orgasm. She'd spent 40 years of marriage thinking she was broken or that sex just wasn't for her. After her husband died, she began exploring her own body for the first time. With patience, quality lubricant, and a good vibrator, she discovered her capacity for pleasure. She describes it as finally meeting herself after decades of thinking she was missing something essential. These aren't exceptional stories. They're examples of what becomes possible when women refuse to accept that their intimate lives are over and take action to reclaim their pleasure and comfort. I want to address the use of toys and tools, because they can be incredibly helpful, and there's no shame in using them. Vibrators can be particularly beneficial for women experiencing decreased sensitivity, as they provide more intense stimulation that can help overcome the barriers created by hormonal changes. There are toys designed specifically for mature women, with features like larger handles for easier grip and different types of stimulation. Personal lubricants and moisturizers deserve another mention, because they're truly game changers for many women. Don't be afraid to experiment with different products to find what works best for you. What works for your friend might not work for you, and that's okay. If you're dealing with pain during penetration, there are specific techniques and products that can help. Vaginal dilators, used under the guidance of a healthcare provider or pelvic floor therapist, can help gradually restore comfort with penetration. The key is patience and consistency. For women dealing with low libido, understand that desire can be more complex after menopause. What researchers call responsive desire becomes more common. This means that desire might not spontaneously arise the way it used to, but can develop in response to intimate contact and emotional connection. This isn't a dysfunction. It's a different but equally valid pattern of desire. Creating the right environment for intimacy becomes more important as you age. This might mean ensuring privacy, comfortable temperature, good lighting that makes you feel confident, and having everything you need within reach, so you don't have to interrupt intimate moments. As we come to the end of our time together today, I want you to take a moment to really absorb what we've covered. You've just received more honest, comprehensive information about intimate health after 50 than most women get in their entire lives. That's not an exaggeration. It's a sad commentary on how our society has failed to support women through this transition. But you're here, you've listened, and now you have knowledge. And knowledge, as I've said before, is power. The power to make informed decisions about your body, your health, and your intimate life. The power to reject the narrative that says your desirable, passionate, pleasure-seeking days are behind you. The power to create the intimate life you want at any age. I want to leave you with some truths that I hope you'll carry with you long after this video ends. Truth number 1. You are not broken. Your body is not betraying you. You are experiencing normal, natural changes that have solutions, treatments, and workarounds. Every challenge you're facing has been faced by millions of women before you, and there are answers. Truth number 2. Your intimate life is not over unless you decide it's over. Age does not disqualify you from pleasure, passion, romance, or deeply satisfying intimate connections. The women who have the most fulfilling intimate lives after 50 are those who refuse to accept limitations and instead focus on possibilities. Truth number 3. You deserve to feel good in your body. You deserve comfort, pleasure, and intimacy if you want them. These aren't luxuries or indulgences. They're part of your basic right to well-being and happiness. Don't let anyone, including yourself, convince you otherwise. Truth number 4. It's never too late to learn, grow, and discover new things about yourself. Some women have their first orgasm after 60. Some women discover new depths of intimacy in their 70s. Some women find love for the first time in their 80s. Your story isn't over, it's evolving. Truth number 5. Asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Whether that's talking to a healthcare provider about hormone therapy, seeing a pelvic floor therapist, working with a sex therapist, or simply having honest conversations with friends, reaching out for support is how strong women navigate challenges. I know that some of what we've discussed today might feel overwhelming. You might be thinking about all the things you wish you'd known earlier, or worrying about how to implement these changes in your life. That's normal, and I want to remind you that you don't have to do everything at once. Start with one small step. Maybe that's scheduling an appointment with a healthcare provider who specializes in menopause. Maybe it's buying some quality lubricant and moisturizer. Maybe it's having that overdue conversation with your partner. Maybe it's simply looking in the mirror and speaking to yourself with the kindness you'd show a dear friend. Whatever step feels manageable for you right now, take that step, then take another one when you're ready. This is a journey, not a destination, and every woman's path will be different. I also want to acknowledge that some of you might be feeling grief right now. Grief for the changes in your body, grief for the time you might feel you've lost, grief for the intimacy that might have been compromised. This grief is valid and important. Allow yourself to feel it, but don't let it become your permanent residence. Grief can coexist with hope. Sadness can coexist with excitement about what's possible. For those of you who are partnered, I encourage you to share this information with your partner if you feel comfortable doing so. Education benefits everyone, and your partner might be relieved to understand what's happening and how they can support you. Many men are dealing with their own age-related changes and may welcome the opportunity to have honest conversations about adapting together.